it shoots me, it's all that, the skeleton going, that's sort of dead. So that's like a claim of fame of mine. That's good.
I'm recording now, Owen. So people didn't know exactly what reference you had there to that conversation, but you were shot. You were shot by a Cyberman, or you shot a
No,
Cyberman?
you've got it all wrong. I've shot a Cyberman. I was killed by a Dalek. Get it right.
My coat.
Back in the old days with Doctor Who was filming in Cardiff, and I was in 3 episodes. I was in Doomsday, The Age of Steel, and The Runaway Bride, all David Tennant episodes. So there we are.
Oh wow, okay. Well, I didn't know that, mate.
Yeah.
Claim of fame there, big time.
You learn something every week, don't you? You
do, mate. Mate, you're larger than life. Owen Staten's larger than life, mate. I'm trying to get smaller than that. Richard's getting jealous. You better watch out, mate, because he's going to bloody...
I know.
He's like a poltergeist on your shoulder all the time, I think.
When we finish here, I'm going to go for a run to try and get smaller than life. What's that shirt you got on? What's that? That's like an old school Warhammer shirt, is it?
All right, this is from my old mate Mustafa. Mustafa's in Japan. He's a great artist.
All right.
Mustafa, this is a shout out to you, mate. Oh, hang on. Bloody earphone things. Yeah, Mustafa, here we go. Undead. They recently had a sale on the shirts that you can buy them from it. Like you can order them. I've got a link on the Facebook page that you can go there. I don't know if they're still on sale, but they've got a whole range of different designs that must have put up there. You can buy like long sleeve tees, short sleeve tees, like hoodies and that kind of stuff. But this is the very first one he brought out, and I thought I've got to have one of these. They're awesome, and I just use this. Wear this when I have my do my painting or whatever, or go and play games or something. But yeah, it's got a really sort of third edition because he's really to the third ed, Gary Chalk type of style of black and white drawings. Yeah, and he's a really good artist. I'm going to have him on the podcast too as an interviewer one day as well, because he's doing a lot of stuff for like different companies, like doing a lot of the internal art or cover art for a lot of role-playing games, like all old school stuff. Yeah,
that's fantastic. I love that sort of style of art. That sort of almost like you say late 80s, early 90s sort of black and white Warhammer sketches. So evocative of that era. I really, really like that. That's excellent. But
talking about art. This book?
Ooh, I've not seen that. Paul Bonner. What is? Oh, okay. Tell me about Paul Bonner. What was that about then?
You didn't know Paul Bonner?
Well, probably show me some of the art, and I probably do. Yeah.
Oh, and I stand here. Oh, I'm sitting here shocked. I can't believe, mate, you don't know Paul Bonner. He's one of the great. He's one of the great artist legends, mate.
No, he has.
He did a lot of work for Rackham. Okay, a lot of work for Rackham.
Oh, here we go. It's all Rackham again now. Yeah, Rackham. Here we go. Okay.
They're all Rackham.
Yes.
But I was talking to Marcel before because I was showing you some artworks. We were talking about another classic old game that died many, many years ago. It was what was it again, Marcel? That game?
Mutant Chronicles, or what was it? No, not Warzone. Was it Warzone?
Yeah, Warzone. Mutant Chronicles, isn't it? Yeah.
Do you remember Warzone? Big box set.
I do remember Warzone, and I remember Mutant Chronicles as well. And as it's you, look what I found this morning. Look at that.
Oh, right.
Yeah, classic, isn't it? I was rumbling through some old stuff up in the attic. That sounds a bit dodgy, but there I was. And I found that. I'll just have to find the tiles now.
Yeah, just sell it on eBay because the rules are crap.
Just tell us how you feel there, Marcel. So here's the cover, mate. That was the cover for the Mutant Chronicles rulebook back in the 90s. Yeah. It was basically sort of in competition with 40K at the time, second edition 40K.
Very much.
But yeah, Paul Bonner's just an incredible artist. He's working now for Sigmar Games, doing a lot of art for their board games and that kind of thing. For is it Trudvang? I think it's called. It's like a Swedish RPG set in some fantasy Norse kind of mythology world that I backed the Kickstarter for the board game because it looks really, really amazing.
Did Paul Bonner do you remember Keltos? Do you remember Keltos? It's like a Celtic
Did he do that one?
Yeah.
Did he do that? He may have done that as well.
Wow.
Looking at
Okay.
that,
Looks
like-
similar.
But like he
You
did all
remember
the
that
he
one?
did all the 40K stuff, like all the 40K
Oh, wow.
pencil work,
Yeah.
for the Space Marine and Rogue Trader books and all that kind of thing. He was there basically for Rogue Trader era. Yeah.
But wasn't Keltos also from the same company that did Void, or was that a different company?
I don't know. It could have been. Couldn't it? It was one of those sort of they burned bright, but burned short. Those sort of companies and games that came out and went boom, and everyone sort of got into them, just faded away. A bit like Frankie Goes to Hollywood, like that, Sort of they were massive for one time, for about 6 months, and then gone. So, but yeah, Keltos, I used to really like the figures. They were very much like Slain, Slain from 2000 AD. Slain is like sort of a Celtic character who fights against the Romans, but it's done in a Celtic mythology type background. And he has a warp spasms. We can change and become super powerful. And he has a little dwarf friend called Uko, who is like sort of bagman. Really. He carries his gear around with him. And is it up there? I've got a figure of Slain somewhere. I've got a figure of him. He's a sort of famous, but Keltos was very much in that sort of mold, that sort of style, really. It was good. So what about you, Marcel? What have you been doing this week?
I got some stuff in the mail, like this.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, so you can see our ugly pages now more clearly. Yeah. Faces, everything. And I must say, it's so much enjoyable to just go through the pages. That's way better than just reading it on the screen. So I can hardly recommend just print it out.
So how does one print it out, Marcel? How does one print it out?
Yeah, go to the Hero Hammer Fanzine page and follow the instructions. And there's a printing guide. And then with that info, you can print it out yourself, or as I did, just do it as print on demand. So use a service to print it and let it send to you.
Okay, mate, that's good. Yeah, because people have been asking about that. So I got an email from a guy on Facebook about that. He said, how can I order a printed version? Well, if you go to like Marcel says, just go to the Hero Hammer Fanzine website. There is now a button that you can click to print, and it will give you the instructions how to do it through a professional printing service. So you can do it that way now.
And
so, go on, Marcel.
Yeah, and then I need a break from my elves because I can't see them anymore. I cleaned up some monopose Skaven.
Look at those.
For Warhammer Quest and also for the next issue of the fanzine. And then I got reinforcements for my Dark Elf army.
That purple box, look at that. Look, I found some, let me just get my camera here. Where am I? Some of these old Jez Goodwin.
Brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
I found 25 of them all ready and raring to go.
I'll buy them. I'll buy them. Thank you. Sold to the man in Japan.
Well, I've got a load of those all in a bag. And about this time last year, we started playing Saga Age of Magic. Have you seen that? Saga Age of Magic. It's you must have heard of Saga. It's like it was a Viking sort of game initially, but they brought out a fantasy version, and we started playing a campaign, but it got closed down by COVID. The campaign, it was like the plague came, so the war had to stop. But I made an army of those guys, sort of woodland sort of warriors. So I've got those, and they were all my spare ones. There's 25 of them, so it's got a nice unit for somebody
in Japan. No, they're classic, those miniatures. I love the early Jez Goodwin 3rd edition Wood Elves. They're the best. Nothing's ever come even close to it. Luckily, I've got one like a wizard on horseback of his models. So that's really, really nice for my high elves. Yeah, it's really nice range.
Well, if you watch my Rangers of Shadowdeep videos, plug, there's a the wizard I use is the Jess Goodwin wizard from that range. He is with his sort of like, he's got like a magic wand and his arm up like this, and that's a really nice figure. I mean, those things, the Scarlocks, Wood Elf Archers, Glam, the Laughing Warrior, all those were just unbelievably good, weren't they?
Yeah, lovely models.
So there we go.
I love the war dancer miniatures from that range, because you got some really nice female war dancers in that. Really cool with the hair and everything. Really cool models.
They knew how to rock a mullet, didn't they? They knew how to really rock a mullet in those days. You know, that's like, you know, how I'd wish for hair like that these days. You know, to be able to get that sort of wood elf mullet going. It would be fantastic.
Look at the fourth edition witch elves.
Yeah,
they are just looking like a glam rock band or something like that.
Right. Yeah,
but I like them.
Yeah, imagine the hair. So how much hairspray it would get to get your hair like that. You know? So
maybe that's why Nagaroth is without any woods. They just killed everything.
Yes, correct. So anyway, Josh, tell me more about your Rackham experiences and what's going on there. Have you played a game yet?
Are you sure you want to ask me that question? It could be a long answer.
Go for it.
Yeah, reckon? You ready? Yeah. Okay, we'll sit back, have a cup of tea. Have a cup of tea, mate. Just entertain Richard. Put Richard on your lap because it could take a while. So I've got a bit obsessed with Rackham recently, if you haven't noticed, and we could have a whole week or month full of Rackham content with interviews from guys in the community that I've been in contact with for several years or even more, that I've known online for a long, long time. But I've never actually
several years. I think it's several. You've only started going on about this. I'm trying to figure it out. Several years.
Yeah, several years. I've known these people online for a long time, mate. Yeah, back from the early days when they were just like a name, a username, an avatar on the forums. So we've got some interviews with some good people out there from around the world. We've got ex Rackham painters, Martin. He'll be joining me in an interview in the future, which will be awesome. I've got an actual remote gameplay that I'll be playing next Thursday here with Owen in America. So we're going to play our very first game for the channel, which will be awesome.
You'll have to ask him to change his name, Josh. We can't have two Owens on the channel.
Well, we can, mate. We can. There's one Owen from California. There's one Owen from bloody where are you from again? Wales. That's it. It's a small place in the UK.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a small shire.
Yeah.
Not important.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to do a Piers Morgan and leave now in a second. Boom, gone.
But yeah, good to have those guys on. Yeah, mate. I can go on for hours and hours about it. But I mean, it doesn't replace my love of the Hero Hammer age, because that's really my main thing. But yeah, confrontation has a big place in my heart still. Mainly from the miniatures and painting, and I really got to learn a lot about painting because, until then I was sort of following, sort of Mike McVeigh's sort of, his kind of high standards of painting. It was really something to achieve for a lot of painters. But then when Rackham came along, those French guys just revolutionized painting completely. And not only that, but, the guys who were sculpting the miniatures, they were just way ahead of their time. And it made a huge impression on me, big time. So I've still got a lot of love for all that sort of stuff. So it's good to see people, in the community still actively doing things and trying to keep the game alive, even though it's a very, very, very small niche of people still involved in it, and it's very fractured, unfortunately. But yeah, it's good to get in touch with those guys now. We can sort of, work together and, making people a little bit excited with new stuff coming out, like the Confrontation Club interview I did with Gilberto yesterday. So that's really exciting.
So where can you get the figures? Are the figures only available secondhand, or is there a company selling them?
Well, you can get them secondhand only because obviously the company has not existed since 2010. So unfortunately, it's basically a secondhand market on Facebook or eBay to collect the miniatures. There are a lot of groups on Facebook that you can get a lot of miniatures in, certainly army lots. So they're still around. Getting the cards is probably the most difficult thing. That's the biggest problem. That's why I asked you, Belter, can we have some kind of application on that app that he's making that we can use cards to use for the activation? Because you need the cards to activate your units basically in the game. Yeah. If you don't have the cards, it's kind of like, well, how am I going to get around that? So,
because I think when Rackham stopped, didn't somebody else buy the figures, or there was somebody else selling the figures for a while? Am I wrong? Or I seem to remember.
There is a group in the Ukraine selling them as recasts. So you can buy them from his store. I'm not going to say who it is. You can find it online, but because it's quite a touchy subject, recasting. But you don't really need to do that. You can just buy them off people online, mate. There's a good community. There's good people out there selling stuff that's genuine, and with the cards and all that kind of thing. And you're better off just doing that, just going through those guys.
No, I genuinely thought that some other company bought the IP, but obviously I was wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Well, recently there was. I thought I remember. Sorry, just to keep you sort of in the loop. Recently there was a company called, I think it's called Detour in France, that bought the license, and they were then producing the miniatures under the new license, and they had a Kickstarter out, right? And a lot of people put a lot of money into getting the miniatures and getting the new game and all that kind of stuff. And of course they went bankrupt and everybody lost all their money, and now it's all gone down the gurgle, and now it's in the courts, the French courts and all that kind of thing. It's just being dragged through the mud again, sort of thing, basically. Yeah. So yeah, they were producing like the metal miniatures again from the original casts and that kind of stuff, and resin models as well. So, but yeah, sadly that's all gone by the by now.
Because funnily enough, while I found my Mighty Empires book, I found some Rackham miniatures in the attic still in blister packs, which I've got. Some old
sold them in Japan. Yeah. You don't need those, Owen. You don't need those.
Yeah, it's what the droids you're looking for.
Yeah. My Jedi mind trick.
Yeah. Yeah. Marcel's stormtrooper walking away as I said that. Then, was it?
So what did you find?
I don't say anything about that.
Sorry?
What did you find, mate?
I found some falconers of Alahorn or something like that.
Brilliant. Alahan. Falcons of Alahan.
Yeah.
Gorgeous,
there's a couple of those. Yeah. I'll have to dig them out. I'm not sure entirely what they are, but there's definitely the falconers I've got.
How much do you want for them?
I'm not going to, bargain in a public forum. What's this, like an episode of Bargain? What have you got that?
Miniature auction house, we should call this. Yeah, we just put up our wares and say, okay.
Yeah, auction house.
Yeah, starting at £20. Mate, they would be perfect for Rangers of Shadow Deep. I mean, they look like the guys out of Assassin's Creed, basically. The video game Assassin's Creed. They're just perfect for that. There you go, mate. You got 3 guys in your warband.
They used to do some nice like werewolf type figures and things like that, didn't they? There was these sort of like all that was good. Yeah, I remember that was nice. Yeah. So anyway, Marcel, what about you? I've seen you painting the high elves. Have you got any games in this week?
We had our next role-playing session last Friday. So, and the group is still alive, surprisingly. Yeah. They figured out there's something wrong with that inn they went in. But the funny thing is, because I can compare this session with my last group, how they did this adventure, and that was just storming in, weapons drawn, hack and slay, all good. And now they are just, there's something wrong. What should we do? Maybe we will just walk away and find the next inn. And I was saying, then the adventure is over. And it was really cool because they were sitting there, and the innkeeper brought a pot of soup, and they were very suspicious about this soup. But one character was so hungry because it was raining all day, and they got tired and muddy from the travel and everything, and this soup smelled so good, and he just thought, okay, who cares? I will just dig in.
And I know he's gone.
And he was just eating.
He's vanished.
And yeah, and then the rolled some dice and everything, and yeah, because of course the soup was poisoned, and luckily his character is immune against poison, so nothing happened to him. That was really cool. Yeah, and we had no fights, a lot of role playing, just to how they want to manage this situation. And I'm really looking forward to next Friday when our next session is. Yeah.
Good. So how many people are playing now?
Me as a GM, and then 3 other players.
Good.
And no fighter, sadly. Yeah, we've got the Nun of Sigmar, we've got a farm boy, and yeah, the juggler.
An epic party, if ever there was one.
And soup, hot soup.
Yeah.
Heinz soup. What more can you ask for, right?
Wow,
Spoons.
Yeah, I'm loving it. Well, I don't know if you caught up with it. I did a new Rangers video yesterday, and it was exciting stuff again. I got to use my WizKids dungeon, which I bought a little while back, which has been really nice. So it was a birthday present. I got that. So
are they plastic?
Yeah, they're plastic and they clip together. They're nice. They're good. You know, they're still expensive. I mean, I can only do a little dungeon sort of area, and with the starter kit, so you probably need some more. And I didn't have any furniture, so it was a bare dungeon. But I asked people to use their imagination, really. But yeah, they're good though. I like them. I've always wanted, ever since I started gaming. I go back to that first club I was involved in that I talked to you about before, Josh. And it was, they used to have a film case there, an old-fashioned cinema film case. And inside that film case, there were some resin dungeon pieces. And I used to look at those. I used to think they were the best thing ever. And once, I don't know when or why, but they disappeared from the club. And I haven't seen them. And for years and years, I've always wanted my own dungeon tiles. Not that I play, you know, many sort of role-playing games or things like that anymore, but I just like the thought of having, dungeon tiles and being able to set up like an area, and I really like that. I think that's great, and it brings so much into my mind, you know, the imagination, and you can build some good stories with it. It's fantastic.
Oh, nice, mate. Great. Fantastic.
That must be boring. He just walked off.
Well, I was slightly entertained by it. Yeah, it was keeping me.
Yeah.
I was watching you the whole time. I was tempted to pick up a book and read it as you was talking, but I got through the whole lot. Okay, that's cool.
You're probably looking through like a Rackham catalog or something.
Yeah, talk about as Marcel's, he's back now, but look at this. This is the Goblin Chef. Okay, he's armed with his his what's it called? Cleaver. Yeah. That's it. And he's got a squig on his chef hat. How cool is that? He's got his pan in the back there. Yeah. That's brewing, isn't it? That's genius.
Yeah. So where do you get that?
That's Rackham, mate.
That's
a Rackham.
Is it? Yeah, of course. What else?
Yeah. The new stuff. Yeah. Warhammer. What's that? Yeah. But Owen, coming back to your dungeon stuff, because I built a 3D Hero Quest board. Right. And because I also wanted to have walls, and there's a company called Hirst Arts. They are making silicone molds. Yeah. And I built these stuff. So you got a secret door.
That's nice.
And
Oh, lovely.
That's all from this mold. So sacks and sacks, boxes, everything.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can easily populate your dungeon with that. It's really cool and yeah, like that.
That's really nice. That's
Yeah.
really nice. Is that 3D printed? Is it 3D printed?
No. It's a mold and what's it called?
Plaster, sort of plaster
Yeah,
stuff, is it?
plaster.
Oh.
Yeah, but I don't use the cheap stuff because it easily chipped.
Yeah.
I used it for dentists. It's really hard. You can just throw it on the floor. It don't break. And I got a 5 kilo sack of it. So
Yeah.
I can hardly recommend if you just want to make some walls or anything like that. And of course, I've also got a lot of furniture, but they are from a German company.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are nice.
And I even made my own doors.
Oh, wow. Really nice.
Yeah. But I mean, you have to do something with your hound. Yeah, maybe just give him armor or something like that, because it's now he dies in every episode now.
Every
That's
episode.
not,
yeah.
That's
It's
not funny anymore.
No, it's almost become a catchphrase now. He's like, who killed Kenny in South Park? You know, it's like that. every day, every episode.
Yeah.
And he's still so full of spirit. Yeah, he just jumps and then bam.
Yeah,
he killed some guys. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I feel really sorry for him, but there we are. It's good fun. I enjoyed it yesterday. I really did enjoy Rangers of Shadowdeep. Is very good. It's good fun if you're on your own. As much fun as you can have on your own.
Yeah, I'm really thinking of playing that myself, but with the Warhammer background, like dwarves. Yeah, like your Wonder story. Yeah, like a dwarven force going deep into lost dwarven hold and something like that, because it's very generic fantasy. You can easily adopt this for another background.
Do you know Mantic Games? They did I got it there. Is it Dwarven Hold? I think they did a sort of dungeon bash game, which was similar to that, where you could make your way through it. But usually one player would play the bad guys and one would play the good guys. But I like games like that. I've always liked dungeon bash games on the computer as well. You know, Dungeon Master and things like that, and all those sort of dungeon sort of based stuff. Many years ago, I can remember the Fighting Fantasy game books, and the Death Trap Dungeon was always my favorite. You know, so I always liked those sort of dungeon based games, really. So I've always wanted to do more of these, but excuse me, these are quite hard because to put them together, you need to wear gloves because they have these little clips which are really stiff, and the amount of my hands were in ribbons, you know, putting them together. We just got to push them all together, and you keep hitting your nails and things. So it's quite tough to do, but it's worth it. It looks good in the end. So yeah, cool. There we are. Josh will probably tell us a Rackham do a great job.
I'm still waiting for more Rackham content, mate. Come on.
Yeah.
Don't leave me bloody bored here. Hey? Yeah. Anyway, guys, we have to wrap it up soon because I've got an actual interview with some Rackham guys later on tonight.
Yeah. Of course you have. Yeah. Brilliant.
Of course.
Yeah. If you couldn't see that coming. But yeah. We're nearly coming up to our 40-minute time limit, unfortunately. But yeah, I was really hoping to hear Vander's story because I'm really worried about Vander because he's got all these stone trolls or rock trolls around him in this part of the underworld or wherever he is at the moment. So and next week we definitely have to hear the next part, the third installment to Vander's story. Can we have that? Can we do that?
We certainly shall. Yeah. Okay. I know we're sort of bigging it up now, and it's never come in, but I've actually written a lot of it down as well, so I'll send that in to you when that's ready as well.
Cool.
You know, if we want to look at that for the next sort of thing, and I have put a new video on my storytelling channel as well. If anybody's interested, it's Sunday, so it's a new story. I quite like today's one. It's quite entertaining. So yeah, anyone who wants to go to Time Between Times Stories, it's a Rackham free zone at the moment, and it's full of sort of stories from Welsh myth. I won't say it remain that way because you never know, but yeah, it's all good. So that's it.
I'll just put this up here for you. I'll put this in front of my face now.
Finish
Mate.
with
I'll just have this as my screen. Yeah. You just talk to the book. Talk to the book. Talk to the book.
Talk to the book.
Not to the hand. Talk to the book.
I have to do the Warhammer stuff, so I will just hold this.
The drunk elves.
Yeah.
Drunk? Yeah.
Duncan. Eleven.
Dunkelelfen.
I was pretty close. I was not too far. Duncan
Yeah,
Elven.
not drunk.
Not drunk.
Maybe drunk on blood, maybe.
Yeah, drunk on blood.
Taking a bit of a dark turn now, isn't it?
Yeah.
There we are. Good to catch us.
Guys have been fantastic.
As always.
Yeah, as always. Okay, I'll speak to you soon, no doubt. There we go.
Definitely, mate. Yeah, next week we're on. Okay. As long as it doesn't conflict with my Rackham interviews, that'd be good. Thank you.
Of course. We'll always just stand aside for that.
You see the priority shift going.
Yeah.
No.
Like I said, don't even try to follow me, guys. Don't try to follow me. You'll go crazy. Don't do that.
Joshua Fanzine, the Rackham era is coming in. You can tell.
I think I will just paint my dragon princess now.
Good on you.
Yeah,
good on you,
I'll
guys.
join you. I'll join you, Marcel. That's fine.
Go into the Discord.
That's cool.
And that's a good point. If people don't know, we have a Discord. You go to my top of the banner. There's a Discord icon. Click on that. It will take you directly to the Discord channel for the Crown of Command podcast. You can go and talk to these guys. You can talk to Owen. You can talk to Marcel. Okay, and you can paint with them.
There's no Rackham. No Rackham involved.
Oh, there will be.
At the moment.
There is a post on there from Rackham. So yeah, you can go and click on my video to see if you want to watch that. It's high quality entertainment. So go and see myself and Gilberto talk about the new app. Sorry to divert it off the Hero Hammer guys, but you just got to go with me. You got to go with the flow. You know, you just got to follow me along this journey. That's all it's all about.
Well, we
Okay,
have
guys.
an option, have we? We have an option, really.
Yeah, you got the option.
No,
It's just too bad, really, isn't it?
yeah,
Maybe next week we sell toss. I don't know. We'll see how we go. Yeah.
like a Rackham story for next week. Should I? Yeah, that'd be it.
All right, boys. Well, take care. Have a good week.
And you.
Okay. Stay safe.
Speak soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye.